All right, our last loop type is the do-while loop. So the do-while loop is almost exactly like a while loop, except for two things. First, we will always execute the loop once, no matter what. And second, we will check our loop conditional at the end of the loop instead of at the beginning. And the way we write a do-while loop is we say do, execute the code in this block while something is true. Okay? So let's pretend that we have a menu system, and we'll say select an option from the menu. And then we'll say that the option is A, launch rocket, or B, deploy drones, C, make sure we spell right correctly, scan radar, and then we'll put a little divider here, that. And then we'll say if they type in Q, quit. Okay. And then we'll say choice is equal to read line. And we don't need to convert here because we're just going to enter a string. Okay. And what we'll say is we want to keep doing this menu, showing this menu until they enter the letter Q. And so we'll say that we'll do this while choice does not equal Q. And one thing I should note here is that a do while loop is the only loop where you have to put a semicolon at the end. Any other loop, if you put a semicolon after the loop or after the conditional, it will not work correctly or it won't compile. All right, so then we can say right line, the end. All right, so we'll execute this program, and here are our options. So if I type the letter A, we'll do it in capitals. If I type the letter A, then I've launched a rocket, and I can keep typing A and keep launching rockets or deploying drones, scanning my radar. But when I hit Q, then the loop exits. And so just to step through this for completeness' sake, we're going to start out, we're just going to set my choice to empty string. So it doesn't matter. I'm going to print all of this stuff, and then I'm going to let the user type something. If I type the letter A, that's going to get stored. Press enter. That gets stored inside my choice variable. Step over the code, we get to the end of the loop, so we ask this question, is it true that choice does not equal Q? That is true, and so we're going to execute the loop again, and we will keep executing the loop as long as choice does not equal Q. As soon as choice does equal Q, then the loop conditional is no longer true, and so we exit out of the loop and continue with the rest of the program. All right, so those are our three types of loops. For loops allow us to do something a set number of times where we are incrementing some type of counter or some type of index. While loops allow us to execute something as long as a conditional statement is true. And do while loops allow us to execute a statement at least one time and continue as long as the conditional is set to true. The difference between while and do while is that do while will execute at least once, always, and while loops may not. Also, the conditional clause is at the end of a do while loop instead of at the beginning. And importantly, for syntax reasons, we have to include a semicolon at the end of the do while loop, but with no other loop. So those are our three loop types that we care about for this week.